안녕하세요, 팔린입니다. Hi everybody, it's Pauline. Now welcome to today's lesson. Today we're going to talk about the Korean word, or rather the Korean equivalent word for very. Because there's so many ways to say very. For example, 진짜, 정말, 매우, 아주, 너무, 많이, 되게, 엄청, so many of them. And so which one should we use and when should we use which, alright? Which one is more appropriate, more frequently used in what kind of scenarios? These are topics that we're going to look at in today's video. We will be bringing you lessons every week to aid your Korean learning journey. Alright, so remember to stay tuned by subscribing. Now, if you've already done so, here we go. Alright, so let's look at some examples. If you look at this sentence over here, 한국어가 어려워요. 한국어가 어려워요. Korean is difficult. 한국어가 어려워요. Now, by adding an adverb, we are describing difficult, but how difficult it is. Alright, so it modifies the extent of that verb or the adjective. For example, 너무 어려워요. 한국어가 너무 어려워요. It's not just it's difficult, but it's very difficult. Alright, so we all know very. Now, there are other ways to say very before even I can give you the differences. Alright, let's see what are the other options you have. So we have 너무 어려워요. 진짜 어려워요. 정말 어려워요. 되게 어려워요. 엄청 어려워요. 많이 어려워요. 매우 어려워요. 상당히 어려워요. This is a little bit more advanced. 상당히 어려워요. 굉장히 어려워요. 굉장히 어려워요. 굉장히 is also a little bit more advanced. 꽤 어려워요. 꽤 어려워 is quite difficult. 꽤 어려워요. Alright, so these are some of the examples of very. Alright, so in order to differentiate them, let me separate it into two different columns. Now, one that's a bit more formal, the other one's a bit more casual, maybe where you use it with your friends, just like among daily gossiping or daily chit-chatting among your good friends, alright, we call that casual. Formal, maybe when you're talking to your director, maybe you are in an office environment, in an office setting, or even in the news, you know, writing an article. Alright, let me divide them into two categories. Okay, so under the casual, a bit more casual category, we have got 진짜, 정말, 너무, 많이, 엄청, 되게, perhaps even 꽤. Okay, now, the difference between 정말 and 진짜, you can find it in the other video uploaded on my YouTube channel. But I want to say that 정말 and 진짜 is more like really. Korean is really difficult rather than it's very difficult. 진짜 and 정말 is more like really. Okay, it's really difficult. Alright. Yes, in this case, it also means very, but I'll give you an example in a moment to show you how is it different. Alright, whereas 너무, 많이, 엄청, 되게, they are more very in a sense, and they're all very colloquial, meaning they're all very spoken, especially for 되게, 엄청. 엄청 어려워, right? 엄청 is used really much in conversations rather than written, okay? Even 되게. 너무, it's a pure vanilla, very, okay? It's like one of the simple, plain vanilla way to say very. 꽤 어려워요. 꽤 is like quite, you know, it's to quite a big amount of 어려워요. Okay, so 꽤 어려워요. 많이 어려워요. 너무 어려워요. Now, 진짜 and 정말 versus the rest. Okay, so let me give you another example. 준호는 피자를 많이 먹었어요. 준호 ate a lot of pizza. You probably would understand this. 준호는 피자를 많이 먹었어요. Now, if we change 많이 and we substitute 많이 with 너무, 준호는 피자를 너무 먹었어요. This can sound a little bit awkward. Why? He ate very ate. That's, you know, a bit awkward, right? However, if you add the word 많이 back into it, 너무 많이 먹었어요. You say he ate very much a lot. Alright, he ate a lot, not just a lot, but really a lot, like very much a lot. then that's fine, right? 너무 is describing the quantifying amount, which is 많이 먹었어요. Now again, if you substitute with 엄청 먹었어요, 엄청 먹었어요 is kind of possible. He add like a real lot, you know, in that sense. 엄청 먹었어요. 엄청 많이 먹었어요 is also fine. 정말 먹었어요. When we talk about 정말 먹었어요, it's like he really added. Okay, I'm not kidding you, alright? He really added. Same for 진짜. Okay, the difference between 정말 and 진짜, you can watch the other video uploaded on the channel, alright? But it's more like he really add a lot, or he really add in this case. Without money, it's just he really add. So 정말 먹었어요, it's not a wrong sentence, but it means a bit different. It's not like he add a lot, but he really add the pizza. Okay, not that he did not eat a lot, but even if he ate one, alright, he ate the pizza. Okay. Next, 되게 먹었어요. 되게 먹었어요. It sounds really off. I think if you hear it, you probably know it's off. Okay. So when you want to use very, I would say when the sentence follows with a verb, like 먹었어요, 많이 잤어요, I slept a lot. In this case, you try to use something that is more quantifiable, which is like 많이, okay, instead of something that's not so quantifiable like 너무. Okay, 너무 it's not really a quantifiable adverb, whereas 많이 it's more like a quantifiable adverb. And therefore, if you want to use a verb behind, or if your sentence is, or rather the adverb is describing a verb, then using something quantifiable like 많이 would be better. So 많이 먹어서 많이 잤어요. 너무 많이 잤어요. Okay, instead of just 너무 잤어요. However, if the back is a adjective, okay, and you are describing this adjective or strengthening this adjective, 너무 예뻐요 is fine. 엄청 예뻐요, 되게 예뻐요, 많이 예뻐요. Ooh, it's all possible. Okay, however, if it's a verb, then maybe quantifying adverbs will be better. Okay. Now let's look at on the other category where we have the formal ones. Alright, so on the formal spectrum, we have got like 아주, 굉장히, 매우, 상당히, 대단히. Alright, and these are a bit more formal, or in fact, some of these are more written. For example, 매우 어려워요. 매우 어려워요, it's a bit more stronger in terms of its emphasis. 매우 어려워요 is probably also more seen in written. Okay, or maybe even news articles. 아주, it's kind of a bit balanced. It's a bit formal, yet again in casual you can also use it. 아주 어려워요. 아주 많이 먹었어요. That's fine. Okay, 아주 is kind of in the middle. Generally you can also use it for formal situations. However, words like 굉장히, 상당히, 대단히, these are a bit more extreme, a bit more formal in that sense. If you know Mandarin, you will know that 상당히 comes from the 한자 word 相当, and that means relatively. Okay, so it's like relatively a lot, right? 상당히 많이 먹었어요. 상당히 어려워요. It's pretty difficult in that sense. It's quite difficult, very difficult, right? 상당히. Same thing for 대단히. 대단히 comes from the stem verb 대단하다. Like, that's so amazing, so cool. It's beyond imagination, right? So 대단하다 is like massive amount, tremendous amount. 대단히 어려워요. It's tremendously difficult. Okay, so it's not just a little bit, it's not just very, but very, very tremendously amount of difficultness in it. Okay, there's no such word as difficultness, but yeah, pardon me. Okay, so 상당히, 대단히, 굉장히, these are more extreme words. Okay, a bit more like tremendous rather than just very. Okay, 아주 and 매우 are more written, I would say, or even formal situations. Whereas 진짜, 정말, it's more like really, not just very, but in certain situations, it's more like really. Are you sure? Is that the truth? Okay, then those kind of situations. 되게 and 엄청, it's very spoken. 너무, it's used very often, especially in speaking. 너무 어려워요. 많이 quantifies the amount. Okay, so like how much. 많이 comes from 많다, which is many. Okay, so it kind of quantifies the amount. 꽤, it's a bit more casual in a sense. It's quite, it's pretty much difficult in that sense. He ate pretty a lot, I would say. 꽤 많다, 꽤 많이 먹었어요. Okay, so let me draw a range of how you should use. Alright, so for example, 아프다 means pain. Alright, 아파요. Alright, I would say that if it's not so pain, 그냥 아파요. Just kind of pain. Yeah, but when it comes to very pain, 얼마나 아파요? How much is the pain? 많이 아파요. Yeah, in a lot of pain, right? 너무 아파요. I'm very pain. Yeah, 엄청 아파요. It's very pain. 되게 아파요. 많이 아파요. 엄청 아파요. 되게 아파요. 아주 아파요. 너무 아파요. In this case, they all belong to very pain. 굉장히 아파요. It's quite really pain. And if you go towards the end and you say 상당히 아파요, 대단히, especially 대단히 아파요, you're saying it's really, really painful. It's beyond your imagination in that sense. Okay, 대단히 아파요. Alright? Now when I say 대단히 아파요, again, 대단히 아파요 is not used in spoken language as much. So it's a bit awkward to hear someone say 대단히 아파요. But 근데 대단히 고마워요. 대단히 감사해요. In this case, yeah, it's, really possible. Alright? In that sense that you match the higher status, or rather I would say a bit more formal words with a more formal situation or more formal other words in that sense. Okay? Alright, so I hope you learned something today. I hope you're able to differentiate how with the different ways we say very, and I hope it's useful to you. Right? If there's any questions that you'd like me to address, any differences or any explanations that you'd like to hear, remember to drop them in the comment box. I'll read them and I'll make a video to explain them to you as well. Alright, if you have enjoyed the video, please remember to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next lesson. See you next week. Bye!